Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my theory tuition series where we're working together step by step through each of the ABRSM theory grades. There are lots of resources available to help you on my website. If you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets. They're available to download in US letter or A4 and they accompany each step of this series. There's also a page with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and you can access information about the books that I have available. I've written How to Take Your ABRSM Music Theory Exam. It's an exam technique guide full of tips and techniques on how to best prepare for your exam and also how to best make use of the time when you're in the exam room. So if you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find it's all there. If you can give me a like, that'd be fab, and subscribe to my channel to keep updated. There's lots more in store. And so now we're going to crack on. We're going to start with the third paper, paper C, in the 2017 grade 2 practice papers. So if you turn with me to page 11, we can make a start on that. So always write in pencil. Have a nice sharp pencil to hand. I use a mechanical pencil just so it stays sharp, and you'll need an eraser and a ruler, and then we're just ready to go. I do suggest that you have a go of these yourself. First of all, it doesn't matter if you go wrong. It's okay. You'll learn through those mistakes. Rather than just copying, you'll learn it more thoroughly if you have a crack at it yourself. And so now we'll work through this together. So question 1 asks us to add the time signature to each of these 5 examples. So we're going to be looking for 5 separate time signatures. So just don't miss any and presume that they continue on. The first job will be decide what the bottom number is going to be, because we need to think, are we counting in crotchet beats, quarter notes, quaver beats, eighth notes, or minim beats, half notes? Now here, because we're joined into 2s, that gives us the clue that we're probably in crotchet beats. We're in crotchet beats here, so we're counting in units of a crotchet or a quarter note. We could be in minim beats, but it's a very short bar. We've only actually, if you count here, we've got 1 minim beat, so you couldn't have a time signature of 1 minim beat, and so we're definitely in crotchet beats, and we can see we've got a half a beat, that's 1 crotchet beat, and there's a 3/4 and a quarter, which gives us another crotchet beat. That gives us 2 crotchet beats, and so that gives us that question. Let's look ahead at the next one. So first of all, we need to decide what unit we're going to be counting in. Now here we can see we're not going to be counting in crotchet beats, because although we've got a crotchet beat, a quarter note there, that leaves us with half a beat unexplained. So the only way we can account for this time signature is if we're counting quaver beats or eighth notes. And now we can count 1, 2 eighth notes here. And then these 2 notes add up to another eighth note. So we've got 1, 2, 3 eighth notes, 3 quaver beats. So that gives us 3 over 8. If you want to look at the next bar, you can see that we have a triplet here. Don't let that confuse you. That just means 3 in the time of 2. So that's what we're counting. So we can see that's 1 quaver beat, 1 eighth note. There's another one, there's another one. So there's our 3 over 8. Let's look at the next bar. Now, the next example. So in this one, we can see they're massively great long bars, and at a quick guess, we can guess that we're counting in minim beats or half notes. So our bottom number will be 2 potentially. So here we can see we've got 1 beat here plus a half of a minim. So that plus that will give us another minim or half note. There's 1 and there's 1. So we can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 over 2. If we're counting in minim beats or half notes, our lowest number is 2, and we've got 4 of those units there. It couldn't be over 8, that would be massive, and so would if it was over 4. We'd be having 8 over 4, which isn't a time signature. If you want to look at the next bar, just to double check that, we can see that that plus that will give us a half note or a minim. That plus that will give us a half note or a minim. And then this whole note divides into 2 half notes. We have a semi-breve which divides into 2 minims, so you can just double check it there as well. Let's press on to the next bar. Again, we can see we're grouping in crochet or quarter notes, and so let's presume that our bottom number is going to be 4 because we're counting in crotchets or quarter notes. We have all of those adding up to 1. Those 2 will add up to 1, and then we've got a half and 2/4 of a beat, which gives us another 1, and that will confirm we're in 3/4. Let's just double check the next bar. So we've got a half a beat there and 2/4, which gives us 1. If it is that, like me, maths isn't your strong point, I always imagine there's my crochet beat, and if I divide it into quarters, we've got a half and 2/4. So we know that that gives us a whole beat. I just visualise it. We have 4/4, which gives us a whole beat. And then we have a half here and a half here. Don't forget the rest. That gives us another. So that confirms we're in 3/4. Let's look at the last one. So here, let's presume that we're counting in crochet beats or quarter notes. So we'll give that as our underneath the note number. We can always rub that out if we change our mind. This bar looks the most helpful. We can see, the easiest. Those 2 half a beats give us 1. Remember, 3 in the time of 2 gives us that, which is another crochet beat or quarter note. There we have 2 halves, which give us a beat, and there we have a crochet beat or a quarter note rest. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4/4 will be our answer. Now, mathematically speaking, we could also say that that was 2/2. So that would be 2/2. Mathematically speaking, that would be the same. So that would also be correct, which means we therefore have the choice. We can either say common time or ABRSM, the split common time there as well. So any one of those will give us a correct answer. Marvellous. So let's press on. So question 2 just asks us to reorder this group of notes. We've got to put them in the correct order from the shortest to the longest. They've started us off here with this semiquaver 16th note, so let's just get rid of that one from the list. So now the next one is going to be one of these with a tail, the quaver or the 8th note. Now remember, a dot after a note makes it half as long again, so that's longer. So that's the shorter of the 2. So that will be our next one. And then a dot after that is the next one. We've made that a little bit longer. So we've gone from a 16th of a quarter of a crochet beat, a quarter of a beat, a half, 3/4. So now this coloured in note with a stem, there's your crochet. That's the next one. That's a full beat, a crochet beat. And that leaves us with these 2 here, these minims. Of course, we know that a dot makes it longer. So this must be next. That's a 2-beat note. And then finally we end up with a 3-beat note when we're counting in crochet beats. So that's that one done. Let's move on to the next question. So if you turn over the page, we're on to some intervals. Just buried my ruler and rubber. Let me find those. There we go. Okay then, so we're asked to create these intervals. Above each note, write a higher note to form the named harmonic interval. They've been very helpful here by typing this in bold. We're within the key of B flat major, so each time we're counting up from this B flat. However, in a sense that's irrelevant, we're just counting up from the bottom note. Now a harmonic interval becomes one on top of the other like a harmony or a chord, whereas one after the other is a melodic interval like a melody. That's not what we're after. We're after harmonic interval. So make sure you place the notes correctly. And of course we write the interval higher. This is always, the given note is always the lowest note. So we just have to make sure we count carefully, counting line, space, including the given note. We must count the first because we're counting the first note of the scale, the second, third, fourth. So the only way you can go wrong really is if you forget to count the given note as 1, because we're going B, C, D, E. Of course there are flats, but the key signature will take care of that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 takes us to the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. So let's count from this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've gone line, space, line, B, C, D, E, F. Just double check it that way. So carrying on, the key signature takes care of all of these intervals for us. So 1, 2, 3, B, C, D, there we go. And then from this one, doesn't matter that we're changing clef, we're still just counting the intervals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, B, C, D, E, F, G. And here we're going from B, an octave just takes us to B, B flat. We can double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that completes that question. We'll look at the next question in the next video. I do hope that you're finding this helpful. Please do visit sharonbale.com and have a look at all of the information that's available to you there. If you can give me a like, that'd be fab, and subscribe to my channel to keep updated. There's lots more in store. I do hope that you're enjoying this. I'm certainly enjoying working through it with you, and so we'll continue with this paper next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.